The season of Paralives is slowly approaching, and the days of before early access are setting one after the other. I have a feeling based on what I've seen that we may see a Q4 release, which I'm not mad at. I've waited 5 years, I can wait a couple more months, mainly because 2025 is such a big year. We've witnessed the launch of Enjoy, and Paralives' moment is on the horizon. And for me personally, there are just so many TV shows and games I'm absolutely obsessed with that have happened or are planned for this year. 2025 is going to be my year when it comes to entertainment. This gives me a good sign about my theory of however worse the previous year was, the better the next year will be. And when I tell you 2024 was bad, undeniably one of my worst years in the past 5. This reminds me of the era of anticipation leading up to The Sims 4's release. It was almost as if I could feel the good coming. I have that same feeling now, which makes me think about the vibe around post-Paralives early access. I started thinking about all the good possibilities for this game, and when you think about the good, you start thinking about the bad, and then comes the ugly, and now we have a video. These predictions were made before the release of Enjoy, and with the new context, I feel more confident about some and less so for others. Can you guess which predictions you think those are? Now, these are just personal predictions that I feel are possible for Paralives and its community. Any or all points I make could easily never happen, and it all can turn out in a way that is completely unexpected. Some of my predictions could even contradict each other. Anything could happen. I'm just going off vibes. No matter how many life sims we get in this new chapter, none will ever escape the shadow of the Sims franchise. It's all we've ever known, and it'll be hard to not base what we like from our experience with The Sims. But Paralives has already showcased some huge differences that will aid in an original life sim experience. Many features and systems are designed in some pretty unexpected ways. To mention one, conversations between paras are a general social option. After an in-game hour of socializing, you get to choose a pop-up card that will change the relationship or the tone of the chat. This innovates social interactions by making them less tedious while adding more gameplay. I will say the social wheel has been around for 25 years and it still holds up. Enjoy has its own version of choosing a specific social interaction. Paralives has remixed many staple features we're familiar with in The Sims, such as needs, skills, careers, and possibly a dozen more. I could see a lot of simmers after playing with these new systems for a while, feeling like what was never broken shouldn't have been fixed. There are some downsides of thinking outside the life sim box and creating new mechanics, yet the positive is when playing Paralives, it will all just feel different. The foundation of a dollhouse simulator will remain, but the vibe will give a bit of separation from The Sims. Again, it'll be pretty hard to escape a 25-year legacy, but some separation will do Paralives good in the game's longevity. Eventually, after Paralives has its own legacy of 25 years, it could create its own lane in the genre. I wouldn't really consider these next predictions as bad. I kind of see these as neutrals. There are some positive and negative aspects of how these can play out, but for the sake of a concept, we'll keep the good, the bad, and the ugly thing going. I've had an idea for a while that free updates will create the hype instead of the promotion paid expansions would bring. At least I hope this is how it will go. Honestly, this is just my pitch to the team to please, I'm begging, please advertise Paralives in this way. I would literally die if they did this. Just because you don't have to pay for a Paralives expansion doesn't mean it can't be promoted like one. Just imagine if each update had a theme and even had its own trailer. And what if there were subtle hints in the game that linked to the concept of the next update? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me organize this and paint a picture for you. Paralives has dropped, the hype train has died, and we're now a couple of months into a dry spell. There have been a few hot fixes, maybe small content drops that were feasible to add while they're focusing on something bigger. Players have been speculating on possible hints, most of the community is doubtful, but as more time passes, they become more obvious. Then finally, after what felt like an eternity, an ambiguous teaser is released. Not a single question is answered, but we know something is coming. Suddenly, we get a trailer of a fully conceptualized free expansion. Now we finally understand why they waited so long. They were planning to drop everything in one update for players to explore. Rinse and repeat. Do you understand how powerful promotion like this would be? We've seen it done before, and clearly it works. It's something about each update having a concept that gets me, even if every feature added is not related. It still would create such a fun air of anticipation and speculation for Paralives. Though with a community as opinionated as this one, it won't all be good. To make this promo style work, we'll probably have long periods of quiet in between updates. You would think lots of players would lose interest, but shouldn't the game itself be responsible for keeping everyone's attention? Here's hoping Paralives has good gameplay, which if you've been paying attention for the past 5 years, you would know. What if Paralives becomes too perfect? I had a hard time considering a plausible negative prediction. The game and the developers seem so wholesome and committed to making a game for the community. However, what if that wholesomeness becomes the problem? There has been a rising trend where games, shows, and movies have taken a family-friendly approach, some better than others, and the others are nauseating in how sickly sweet they are. I can easily see Paralives taking this route, and quite honestly, this scares me. There is a huge difference between being age appropriate and being childish. I'm not a child, and I believe most of the fan base waiting for Paralives are not children either. The fastest way to kill a game for me is treating your adult fan base as children. Adults deserve wholesome games, but I hope the dev team understand the balance of what wholesome for adults can look like. I get there are pros to having a child-friendly image. It's amazing for advertising, and products for children make tons of money. EA's figured that out years ago. They're not stupid. With that, it comes down to if the Paralives team is truly making a cozy life sim for its adult audience, or will they prioritize a child-friendly image in exchange for maximum profit? No matter how much love I have for this game, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out this way. How do you feel about my predictions of the post-Paralives era? I have a good feeling about Paralives, but I said the same thing about Enzoy and The Sims 4 back in the day, so it's really up in the air. Anything could happen. That's what comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I only talked about the game-related predictions. What about its community? I think the community can make or break a game whether their opinions are justified or not. With added context of how Enzoy Early Access release went down, I think I can make some pretty solid predictions how the community will react to Paralives. The success of Paralives will be a satisfying slow burn. With time, I can see this game easily forming a cult following. Paralives will not fill the gap in live sims that The Sims 4 has left empty. Then again, I could always be wrong. Maybe we could revive the art of simply deciding if we enjoy a game or not, because we're talking about video games meant to entertain and nothing more. Probably not, but I hope you stick around to find out.